Good morning or afternoon. It's probably afternoon. Just a quick check-in here. I was at the Visual Arts Center yesterday doing my usual darkroom monitoring, and I finally, here needs brushing. I finally got into the darkroom myself. I hadn't printed anything gelatin silver in years, since before I moved here. And this is motivating me to put together my enlarger stand and my enlarger. And in fact, I didn't even have good paper. I was just using very expired paper that I had been using to make lumen prints. So the results actually weren't that bad. I do have spotting to do because I didn't have a negative cloth with me when I was in there, but and it's glossy paper, which I don't like, but I did some of the, you're going to have a hard time seeing that because of the reflection, but I did some of the pinholes that I had gotten off of the old 3+-year-old rolls of film from this self-portrait series. I did two of the same one because I was working to get the exposure right. Let me see which is the better one here. I wanted it to get a little bit darker. I think it's this one. Maybe if I do it like that, you can sort of see it. So these are pinholes. That's from the 365 series I was doing that year. I like that. I find them more interesting. This is another one. This one has a lot of spots on it. I got spot pens, but they may be dried out. That was like, I think it was like in the hotel. One time when I was staying in a hotel, and I just set up the camera. I'll show you which camera I use. Typically, I have two different pinhole cameras, but most of the time I use the Zero, which is this one. And I think I actually have some black and white film in there now, and I should probably finish up the roll and process it. And then I did one from when I had taken pictures with the Holga when we had snow. So there's that one. There's some funny little spots on that one that I'm going to have to look closely and see. It's possible those were actually snowflakes that were like right in front of the lens. I don't know. Anyway, at this point, I'm not really all that concerned that the results were kind of, they were kind of a little bit marginal, but I didn't expect anything super duper great. My whole intent was to take the opportunity to use the darkroom since I'm there anyway. And when I've been going there, I've been working on other projects or I've been writing, and I'm just there to help people who come in to use the darkroom and just monitor that they're not doing weird things and that they're supposed to be in there. I don't get paid for it. I get like a free class per session. And it's a way for me to develop a relationship with the art center. So anyway, I've been there for months, and I've been putting off going into the darkroom because it had been so long. And it's like anything you don't do for a long time, you feel a little bit rusty. It's like you almost have this learning curve to ascend again. But it was fine. Once I figured out how their enlargers work. Their enlargers and their timers are a little bit different than what I was used to with my enlarger. And once you get going on it, I'm there for 2 hours on Mondays and 3 hours on Wednesdays. And sometimes the time can drag a little bit depending on what's going on in my life otherwise. And, I would just get distracted and go on the internet and check things out and things like that because I bring my iPad with me. But when you're in the darkroom and you're doing test strips and you're taking the prints out into the light and you're trying to figure out, does this need a little bit more time? Do I need to open up the aperture and get more light on it? Do I need to dodge some areas? I don't do a lot of, I've never really done any burning, but dodging, if I see an area is too dark, I'll just, wave my hand over it for a couple of seconds just to not have so much light get to those areas, so they're less dark from exposure to the light. So anyway, my point is that time can go by really quickly when you're in the dark room, which is a good thing. So I'm thinking that it'll be good to get my own darkroom setup going again, just because I'll be able to get back into it. And I do like printing, and I do think especially my pinhole work can be quite interesting. It's interesting for me. I wrote about this on my blog. I like the self-portrait series, and not necessarily because it's not because it makes me look good, because the pictures are blurry and they're weird and they're distorted, but I'm trying to think about what it is. It just makes the image interesting to have that human element in a situation and express the passage of time, the moment to moment that pinholes typically do for me, because I tend to gear towards longer exposures when I'm doing the pinholes. If you want to see like the breadth of my pinholes, I'll put some links below to albums that I have on Flickr that show all the different kinds of pinholes I've done over the past 10, 12 years. I guess I've been doing pinholes a long time. But as I've been doing more of the cyanotypes and the encaustics and photo encaustics, I've been doing less actual shooting on the film. And it's like the different creative artwork avenues I have kind of get there, do piecemeal. It's like I can't do them all at one time. So the cyanotypes I typically do in spring to early fall, and then I've been working on the encaustics this winter. Although the encaustic now, when it's gotten really cold, I always have to open the window and stuff, so I have a tendency to not work on those as much. But I do need to get to my big piece that I've got waiting there to work on. And I've had some ideas for some other cyanotype pieces in some of the series that I'm doing. So that's it for right now. I keep adding more to my Society 6, and I put a couple of squirrel pictures up there that are pretty funny today. So I'll put that link below as well. I hope you're all doing well. Thanks for everybody who has subscribed to me recently. I appreciate it. I'll keep trying to make decent content. I should talk about mental health, because I wanted to put on Facebook today, or Twitter. I keep trying to get back up on my horse, but the horse is gone. I've been trying to get back on the horse, but he ran away. So I've had, it's been a little bit of a struggle lately, but that's life, right? All right. That's about it for now. I'll talk to you again another time. Bye.